what's up, guys? It's LecoVision. This video is not to people in general. This is just like a self-reflection, more of, a way to speak my mind because, I haven't been, really up here. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about a few topics that, should be taken seriously, especially when you're on a journey alone. I don't care if it's trading, it can be entrepreneurship, and it can even be just you trying to do the work, you trying to get the work done, even when you don't feel like doing it. And realistically, all this stuff, it doesn't start with, doing the work. It starts with your mind. It starts with what you're thinking about, what mentally is going on, what you feed your brain, what just all these little tiny things that come together and build one big thing, which is you, right? And I wrote a few topics down, and I just want to talk about it. First, hitting a mental plateau. So when I say mental plateau, is when you're lost. Like, you're lost in a sense where you don't really know what you're thinking about. You don't really know if your thoughts are yours, because this day and age, there's so many people on social media that will just they'll influence you. All these influencers, they have these big crowds of people, big they just have these big communities of people that just follow them, and they surround their life, they surround everything because of one person. And this world, God didn't make you, God didn't make you for this. And this world wasn't made for you to go follow other people. It's to find yourself. We all have our own soul. And hitting these mental plateaus, it makes you feel like more of a follower. It makes you feel like these people's thoughts are over yours, which they shouldn't be. None of these thoughts should be over yours, over what you're thinking right now. And there's many ways to attack this. Dopamine detox. I haven't even started. I've barely started dopamine detoxing. I was a year doing Snapchat, Instagram, all that. And I'm not telling you to get off these, but for me, these things attacked my brain so much, and it left me with this. It left me like a follower. It left me, or not like a follower. It left me like I was living somebody else's life, and you never want to be doing that. Okay? Because there's more to that. There's more meant to that. And it hurts seeing people go down this loop of just straight influence from all these exterior factors. And you know what they say, it might be the phone. It low-key is the phone. People back in the day they were chilling. They weren't doing all this technology stuff. And I know, we've advanced as a human society. We've advanced, but it doesn't it doesn't justify the fact that it's easier to access all this stuff. It's easier to access all these things on the planet. Like, it's easier to access all this information, which is better for us, but a lot of people fall into this rabbit hole of using it for the wrong reasons. And I'm a victim of it. I'm a victim of it. Maybe you can say I'm waking up right now, but I don't even feel like I've fully awakened yet. This is just purely just my thoughts of it. And, also, like, understanding it more. Because, it's hard to fully grasp your own thoughts when you're taking in all this information. And yeah, mental plateau. That's the first thing I wanted to talk about. Now, the second thing I wanted to talk about is fake confidence and lack of knowledge. Sometimes you get fake confidence or stuff. You build an ego for things that you think you can do so easily when you really haven't put in the work. And I've went through this. I feel like a lot of other people have went through this, where they just think they the shit at something when they not. When there's a dude 10 times better than them, they thinking, oh yeah, everything's sweet. This shit is not sweet. It's not sweet at all. You really think it's sweet because, you think this person is just because they're doing it better, or you think it's sweet because you think just because this person can do it, you have to find your own path in something. You can't carve your path based on somebody else's. And I feel like I've been falling into this trap also, trying to carve my path based off somebody else's. And that attacks my thoughts and attacks my mental, which puts me in a plateau. See how this stuff is adding up? Okay. And, it becomes a never-ending loop sometimes. It becomes something that is never-ending, a loop. You can't break it, and you need to break it. I think you need these things to be broken to find yourself. Like really, because this stuff was really never meant for us, and it hurts, seeing, people being affected by it, people like everywhere being affected by these things, and they weren't being affected by this back in the day. They were more of themselves, and as we grew as a society, it really just showed, where we're going. Like, you really think all the information you were taking from TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I mean, I think YouTube is also a very good place to find very useful information, but there's a lot of like this fake stuff. All fake stuff. What can I say? What type of word is it? Like, it's just like, it's there to just hook you. There to hook you, keep you there, and keep you in the same place. Keep you plateaued. Keep you thinking like everybody else watching the video, I'm just going to laugh at it, I'm going to think it's funny and stuff. But it's no real fulfillment. And really you just have to find fulfillment in the things that Earth has given to us. Everything natural, everything, everything that we did not have when we first started on this planet. Because you know once you find these things and you master the power of just understanding like stillness, understanding meditation, understanding all these practices that really make you feel like you're alive, you wouldn't want to go back to this fake stuff. You wouldn't want to go back to all these fake sources of dopamine that you watch a video, you get 3 seconds of a laugh, 10 seconds of a laugh, you're cracking your ass off, and then you just have to go back with your day. Like that's no fulfillment. Today I was out there listening to the birds chirp, listening to the wind, blow on my hair, listen to the trees. We have there's like dogs outside barking. I don't really care about them dogs, but it's just like all these natural noises that, really it puts your soul together. And, hopefully I've gotten everything out of my head that I needed. But I really just want to record this. There wasn't really no script to this or anything, just a yap session. And I just wanted to look back at this just to tell myself and tell whoever's watching this, like, you worth more than whatever is on your device. Your time is worth more. Everything is worth more. And the more you realize it, the more the fake shit pushes away. It's like the realer the real gets, the faker the fake pushes away. And it kind of separates you. It branches off. And then you're going to be over here, and when you come back to these things, they're not going to feel like how you felt when you first started your journey, or when you first, had that laugh and stuff, cuz you realize, all this information, all these funny laugh memes and stuff, like they're cool, but they're meant to just take your time away. All this stuff is meant to take your time away from your soul. All this stuff is meant to take your time away from, your real purpose. I don't know if you've really found it, but like you see all these people, even like these rich people. Why do you think all these rich people be taking drugs? All all these higher class people, they be overdosing on drugs. They do these things because they haven't found themselves as a person, and they don't feel fulfilled. They have the money, but they don't feel real fulfillment. And you don't know what that fulfillment is until you start using your head and you start going into your thoughts and really diving in and seeing, this is my idea. This thought is my thought. Think of all the times you have went and watched someone else, and you probably used their joke or something. You probably, twisted it around. And I know it may not, I know that might not be the best example, because you can make a twist of things. Like, not everything is going to be original. But dude, sometimes, like, it gets to a point where people just they it's like follow the leader, right? There's a reason why there's leaders on this planet. It's because there's people that will just submit to this content and submit to other people's thoughts, and they will follow on and just, you know, follow the leader. They'll just go and follow them however long. And whoever's watching this, me personally, like, I don't even care. This is what I don't want to be. Any type of follower, I want to be the person that I want to be. Liko, you feel me? I want to be Liko Vision, and when you realize that, when you realize you have your own shit, when you got your own stuff, like, it really builds your identity, it builds your character. I'm not even talking about having no YouTube or having any of that. Like, you can do any of this stuff without any of that. But I'm saying, you just need to, you can't be attacked by others' thoughts. You can't be submitted to others' things. Yes, you can take bits and pieces, and that's the way you start forming, you form something amazing with that. you know. And yeah, this is just a journal to myself. There's no real, there wasn't really no real direction. I just had a few notes I had on my app, my notes app, because I'm trying to take down notes and stuff. And I was just thinking, I need to talk, I need to speak it, because sometimes you can't just have it in your head. You have to speak these thoughts. You have to speak what's on your mind. You have to speak what what you're thinking about. Because, like, half the time you watch, 99% of the time you watching other people speak. They speaking for your thoughts, and then it pops up, and it's all in your head. Their thoughts are in your head, but you're not speaking it. You know what I'm saying? And this might be the best form of journaling. Honestly, I'm trying to get to my journaling journey. Like, I'm trying to journal down every single thing that's going on in my head. But that might not, that's I don't think that's enough. I think making it so you can re-watch it, or you can understand what you're saying, understand what is going on in your brain, understand, and yeah, it may be unorganized. As you can see, everything is unorganized over here. There's stuff that isn't organized right now, but you need to put the pieces together. Like, life is like a puzzle. Life is like, it's like a never-ending puzzle, I think. Cause you're always trying to find the right piece to put it together, and maybe the piece might not fit. You know what I'm saying? You won't find the pieces until you really look at it in your head. Think of these pieces as like thoughts. You put them together. You piece them together. And it really identifies you, really personalizes you, makes you yourself. And yeah, you just find yourself, okay? Because that's all you got. Find yourself, because that's all you got is yourself. You feel me? All right. Peace out, guys.